Food Deserts and Food Insecurity by William Clement Izzy Timpson.
So the definition of food deserts are geographic areas where residents have little to no accessible options to secure affordable and nutritious food, especially fruits and vegetables. Food deserts are identified by the following factors: access to food, which is measured by distance to a store or by the number of stores in the area; household resources, including family or vehicle availability; neighborhood resources, such as the average income of the neighborhood and the availability of public transportation. Food deserts are a big problem. For our project, we will be focusing on the household resources and neighborhood resources, looking at the difficulty for families in low income areas that struggle not only having enough income for nutritious food, but any food in general.
In addition to food deserts, food insecurity is also a major problem. Food insecurity is defined by the condition of not having access to sufficient food or food of an adequate quality to meet one's needs. These are identified by two factors: access to quality food measured by the nutrients and expiration of certain produce, and the lack of income in households to purchase the required amount of food for an individual to live a healthy and energized lifestyle.
So, food insecurity is a problem in of itself, but the issue also disproportionately affects people who live in areas with high poverty, smaller populations, lower levels of education, higher rates of abandoned or vacant homes, and have higher rates of unemployment. Black communities also are affected more than any other race. And a Johns Hopkins study found that in urban areas, Black communities had the fewest supermarkets, while white communities had the most, and multiracial communities fall somewhere in the middle. So, food deserts and food insecurity, the issue in itself highlights existing systemic inequalities in the United States. And living in a food desert also puts people at an increased risk of obesity, diabetes, and cardiovascular disease.
So why does this matter? Well, this is not a problem that directly affects either of us. We care about it because it is both a national and a global issue. This is not something that only affects individuals and families in our communities, but across the nation and across the world. While there has been minor disruption in specific communities or neighborhoods, such as Meals on Wheels and food pantries, there is yet to be a global improvement that stretches across different societies and nations. The United States, being the innovative world leader that it is, should spearhead the task to end food insecurity in food deserts. If we can find a solution in our own country, then we can serve as an example for less developed nations around the world and assist countries that experience food insecurity in solving their issues.
So, what we know, according to analysis from the Association of American Medical Colleges and USDA, 54 million people are food insecure, meaning they have a lack of consistent access to enough food for every person in a household to live an active, healthy life. And 23.5 million people live in food deserts within the United States. This means that 1 in 6 Americans struggle to eat daily. Food insecurity is the most prominent in the Southwest and Midwest. The average low income family spends two out of every $6 they get from income on food each year, and another three out of every $6 on rent. Obviously, this does not leave much income for medical bills, car payments, and other things. Groceries sold in food deserts are often more expensive than those sold in suburban areas. For example, milk prices in food deserts tend to be $5 higher, and cereal prices are 25% higher. This is a result of the difficulty in getting food to regions with limited grocery stores with higher costs, which lead to a higher purchasing prices of grocery items. Race is also a dominant factor in food insecurity. Black families are twice as likely to be food insecure as white families, with 19.1% of Black households and 15.6% of Latino households experiencing food insecurity in 2019, compared to 7.9% for white families. Majority Black neighborhoods are more than twice as likely as majority white neighborhoods to not have a supermarket in the area.
So who does this affect most? As discussed in prior slides, food deserts and food insecurity disproportionately affect Black families and minorities. Food deserts almost also most commonly affect people who live in areas of high poverty, smaller population, higher rates of abandoned or vacant homes, and have lower levels of education and higher rates of unemployment. As seen in this map, as of 2010, food deserts are most prominent in the Southwest and Midwest and are in low-income areas.
So there are two primary reasons for food insecurity today and why the problem is still prevalent. And those are inflation and underinvestment in these areas that experience food deserts and food insecurity. Inflation has affected everything, as we all know, and it is seen most prominently in grocery stores. Everything from milk, beef, chicken, eggs, and other groceries have gone up in price significantly, which impacts the quality of food and also the amount of food that households can purchase, especially low-income households. In addition, there is a lack of investment by businesses and demographics that are located in food deserts. This is due to higher supply chain costs in transporting goods to more distant food deserts and the lack of improvement in these communities and neighborhoods. Businesses tend to move towards demographics that are higher in annual income, as it will likely lead to higher profits. This results in more improvements in suburban neighborhoods, but leads to lacking improvement in rural and low-income neighborhoods, worsening the issue. Solutions like Meals on Wheels and food banks work to relieve these issues and help families who experience food insecurity and families that live in food deserts. However, these solutions do not address the true root of the issue. They simply provide relief or a Band-Aid fix. To truly solve food insecurity, systematic changes are necessary.
Thank you.
Thank you.